Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today we are going to be updating you on our Chainlink price prediction that we gave 3 weeks ago. We were essentially tracking and looking at some structure that was setting up for Chainlink that could give us technical reasons to expect a $63 price for Chainlink, perhaps in 2024. And of course, this would take Chainlink to new all-time highs. And since we released that video, we have now had movement that essentially has, in my opinion, confirmed this pattern until there's reason to suspect otherwise. So we are going to be diving over to the charts. We're going to be looking at the video that we made 3 weeks ago. Then we're going to be looking at the Chainlink price and how it's progressed in line with what we were expecting, and how actually you've taken a key level of significance that may be setting us up to go to $63. We'll show you plenty of examples of this pattern being a reliable one. And if you follow me regularly, you'll know just how well we did off this exact pattern for the stock market last year. In fact, our S&P target got hit yesterday that we were projecting in 2023, around about that 5,000 mark. We got the NASDAQ right, Microsoft, you name it. This pattern has played out time and time again for us. It's also played out for us within the cryptocurrency space. Bitcoin itself, we were some of the earliest people back in the door in 2023. Right at the start of 2023, we said, look, we pivoted from a bearish bias to a bullish bias based on a bullish divergence. And then we had that head and shoulders setting up, so on and so forth. And we'll also be relating where we think Chainlink is going to the markets more generally. So Chainlink likely isn't going to do that well in an environment where crypto's not doing that well, where the likes of the dollar is doing well, and the likes where Bitcoin dominance is doing well. You know, typically if Bitcoin dominance is doing well, that is usually on the back end of the market not doing as well. If Bitcoin dominance is rolling, that typically means that Bitcoin is going up and the altcoins are just going up to more of a manner. And we think we're at that stage now where you are going to start to see altcoins really perform. They look like this not only on their technical merit, but based on a number of other things, and of course the broader macro context. So we've got a lot to get into. We're really going to be building up the entire picture here. So do strap yourselves in, and it is good news for Chainlink holders, and I'm sure you're definitely appreciating the kind of price action that we've seen since that video was made. And what was the video that we were talking about? Well, the video that we were looking at was this video over here, and I'll leave a link to it in the description for anybody that wants to watch that. This was a realistic Chainlink price prediction for 2024. Big things coming. And you can see since we made that video, you have now taken that key level of significance, that neckline that we're looking at for this inverse head and shoulders pattern. And what I want to do now, guys, is actually dive over to the Chainlink chart and look at this on its own merit. So if we bring up the Chainlink chart that we outlined for you, you can see since we made that video, things have progressed. That video was made around about the $15 mark. Today, Chainlink is at $19.20, we'll call it. We know that today the market is having a little bit of a pullback based on some dollar strength and the yields climbing, but we will talk about the dollar towards the end of the video. So this is essentially what we're looking at, and this is a very reliable pattern. Chainlink we knew was going to be an absolute beast just based on the 500 plus day range bottom that it was essentially falling, that we broke out of on volume, which is a very good sign. It's probably more applicable on the weekly time frame. You can see the break of this range occurred on volume. Gives a degree of conviction behind the move, and the longer the base, the bigger the move, the longer the range, the bigger the move that comes on the upside of it. And since then, Chainlink has progressed into this area of resistance here, which we now believe is going to act as a neckline for a broader inverse head and shoulders. And if we show you this, most people like to look at the charts or a head and shoulders perhaps the right way up. You can see the pattern that we are identifying. Let's put the chart the right way up now. What I want to do is show you guys, because some people are a little bit skeptical in regards to technical analysis, but we can show you other, not just in the crypto space, market structure that mirrors this, that ultimately we've been able to predict targets for, and some of them have now actually been hit. So the one crypto sort of example that we like to use is Injective, INJ. So this is Injective against the US dollar. This is an absolute beaut. You can see the pattern that we are looking at here. You've got your left armpit and your right armpit here. This was a beautiful continuation pattern, and ultimately this is set up. So we still have targets for Injective. This isn't one that's been hit yet. This structure, markets go up and down in a similar fashion. You know, Chainlink was ranging. This did a double bottom. They'll bottom in a similar fashion. They'll go up in a similar fashion. They'll go down in a similar fashion. Kind of looks like what you used to draw on the whiteboard as a kid. But you can see this is a perfect example of exactly what we're looking at for Chainlink. We can also show you a macro Nikkei chart in a similar fashion. Not only do you get the break, you get the period of consolidation that typically comes after the break, which is where Chainlink could be today. So this is the Nikkei. This is going right the way back to 1986. So it's applicable on the smaller timeframes and the broader ones. And of course, this is a monthly chart. We also have Cardano. So Cardano actually did this in the prior bear market leading into the prior bull, which of course we came out of in 2022. You can see your left armpit here, your right armpit over here. And actually the target that was predicted up here was basically where Cardano sort of ran into resistance and started to top out. Of course, you had your divergences showing up here, all key indicators that were showing you this trend was subject to change, and this sort of target that was projected. This is very applicable to where Chainlink is today. And you can see what we're showing you. If you don't believe in technical analysis, subscribe to the channel, follow me, tell me when I'm wrong, tell me when I'm right, and watch, in my opinion, this target get hit. You know, we've been very successful with this, not just in the crypto space. You know, of course, Bitcoin, we were some of the first people back through the door in relation to Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about the Bitcoin chart because Bitcoin needs to be doing well to give the overall cryptocurrency market the right kind of conditions to be sailing in. And you can see left armpit. If you watch my daily market updates, you'll be well aware, and you'd have followed me and been with me throughout the whole of this playing out. And look, if you look at where we're consolidating today, it's around about that key level of significance. Actually, Bitcoin potentially is setting up a smaller inverse head and shoulders here that might want to take it to 55K. But we'll see. You've got a very strong dollar today. You've also got yields up. All of this, of course, is coming on the back end of non-farm payroll. It wasn't just the likes of the cryptocurrency markets, and we showed you the Nikkei. It was also things that we had, like the NASDAQ, for example, was a great one for us. What are we showing here? I'm not quite sure. So this is the NASDAQ today. Let's put that on the right chart. You can see, again, a little bit messy, but the target that we had for this got perfectly round before you set up a falling wedge into broader continuation. This was just one of the stocks that we called out. Microsoft was another one. You can see where you ran into. Also, we can show you the likes of the S&P, which recently got hit for us, by the way. This was a target that we had well down here, and we were certainly looking at this in the same manner that we made that Chainlink price prediction on. You know, this is a very reliable pattern that Chainlink is now in, and we believe that a $63 price is going to come at the end of it. And if you look at where Chainlink is today, that is a 2.3x from where it currently is. That's a 232% gain. Me and my community are probably all up around about 200% on this plus at the moment from accumulating during this range and watching things play out. And actually the range target, if you project the range target, it's where you sort of ran into resistance here. So there is the possibility that this may want to consolidate for a period, but that's fine and healthy. Over time, just like we've shown you with the other charts, we do expect this to get met. And we think we also not only have the technical significance and setup to support this, we think we've got the broader macro context. So again, Bitcoin has to be doing well to essentially allow, I guess, this to happen. So we're not talking about Chainlink fundamentally, even though it's an absolute powerhouse. It's a fundamental and integral part to the cryptocurrency space. But you can see that we also have a 140-ish K prediction for Bitcoin in the same manner that we're predicting 42K. We're now predicting, providing this plays out, still yet to play out. Chainlink is arguably further ahead, having taken that neckline. But if this does play out, and on the backdrop of that, you're going to need to see the dollar do what we think it's going to do, which is come to the downside. Why is the dollar coming to the downside? Well, not only do we technically think it's in a range, you also have the broader macro context with where rates are and what that means for the dollar. You also have the likes of the yields and where we think they're going. And that's going to support Bitcoin, thus the crypto market. And if we look at Bitcoin dominance, we believe that Bitcoin dominance is coming out or has broken down an invalidated market structure of the uptrend it's been in whilst we've been sort of in this bear market. And if you look at the correlation between Bitcoin dominance and the bull and bear markets, which I'm going to show you in a second when it loads, if it decides to load, you can see we've got it up here. In a bull market, Bitcoin dominance rolls. In a bear market, Bitcoin dominance gains. Typically, even when you start to come out in a similar fashion to what we're doing today, you'll still see inflated Bitcoin dominance. Once the real bull gets going, you'll see Bitcoin dominance roll. Again, in a bear, you'll see it gain traction and start to rise again. And currently where we are today is, I believe, and we'll get rid of the total at this point, at an inflection point where Bitcoin has dropped out of, and we'll go to the 3 daily time frame, its broader uptrend. So I think Bitcoin is now coming down. I think that, at what point are we wrong? Well, when it takes this, the correlation and significance of Bitcoin dominance doing this is if Bitcoin dominance is coming down, that's typically going to mean Bitcoin's doing well, which we've got technical structure for. We've also got the broader macro context to suggest, but altcoins are just doing better. Bitcoin dominance is going up. That would mean it wouldn't be a great time for Bitcoin. So Chainlink on its own technical merit looks fantastic. And just some of, and we've not gone into that much detail, we've just shown you a few other things that give us confluence and reasoning to suspect this to play out. And again, if you are not a believer in technical analysis, well, perhaps this is the video to convince you, certainly when you look back on it in the next 6 to 7 months. And if you watched the first video where we gave the initial price prediction, all technically generated, we're not guessing here, we're going off technical analysis. I am a technical analyzer, and I will only predict a target or a price if I see some sort of a technical structure to perhaps support that. And that's what I think we've got for Chainlink. So really, that is all I've got for you in this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. With all the price predictions we are giving for this year, we've given a number for Polkadot, even for Cardano, for HBAR as well, where we think it can get to, perhaps technically Signal, providing it follows a roadmap. It's a little bit further behind. It's more in that stage 1 base. And a number of others, we will see them through. So we'll update you constantly on them. And if you want us to do that, let us know in the comment section. We'll also show you at what point we get invalidated. So if we're wrong on any of these and we think they're not now likely to play out because of a breakdown in structure or an invalidation in structure, we'll keep you up to date on that also. That's all I've got for you in this video, guys. If you've enjoyed the content, like is appreciated, so as a comment. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.